And welcome to the No Name Yet podcast. That is the podcast with no name. And on tonight's show is the other guy on the show, Mo.
Hey, welcome. Hey, if y'all haven't noticed, Pastor's kicking a nice haircut. You want to show them that fade real quick? Have you been invited to the barbecue? Oh, wow, look at this. Listen. This is what you can do when you're invited to the barbecue, okay?
You really see my gray.
Yeah, but it's okay. It looks good on you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. So how are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. It's been a wonderful week.
Okay.
So I'm blessed. It's been crazy, as y'all can probably find out. Y'all gonna find out this week, but let's just hope I don't lose my mind like I did in Kroger's.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I
Yes,
agree. I
yes,
agree.
and
Um,
hopefully no one gets beat up.
so for those that like to know, today I've gone back to Schweppes.
Oh my goodness.
I've got Schweppes sparkling seltzer water, lemon lime, and
Hmm.
this is one of my favorite. This is definitely in the top three, and I figured out because it's the size of the bubbles. The bubbles are on the smaller side.
Wow. Somebody needs to pay this man before I need him to stop giving free advertisement for you companies. I'm gonna start going to your house and ripping off all the labels to your drinks. I'm tired of this.
Well, I have an announcement to make. I have an announcement to make. Um, you know, we live in different times, and that when you turn on the news and there's trans people and there's non-binary people. That I do have to admit that I've had a difficult time catching up, but I have decided that I'm just gonna I'm just gonna jump into the fray, and I am now non-binary.
Really?
Yes,
What makes you non-binary?
I'm not identifying with either sex,
Okay.
and my name is going to be Flower Dozer.
Wait. So now that you're non-binary, you think you have to change your name? You don't have to
Yeah,
change
my
your
name is going to
name.
be Flower Dozer.
Oh
Kind
God.
of difference between like a flower, well, not a difference, but I'm combining flowers, which I mean, you can kind of say are maybe more feminine. I'm probably going to get criticized for feminizing flowers, but
Wow.
that's the way I grew up. And bulldozers, which I would consider more masculine.
So you're a flower that bulldozes.
Flower dozer.
Flower dozer.
And my pronouns are z them.
Oh,
No,
not scatter or pollen
nope.
or
So
crusher. Okay.
just call me Reverend Flower Dozer. And
Wow. This is revolution.
mhm.
This is right here. You are revolutionizing everything. You are now the new. Are you the? I wonder. Are you the first non-binary reverend?
Well, probably not.
Probably not, right?
Probably the
Just not Amy.
or the congregational church is probably on
Oh
the
my
cutting edge, or
God.
I don't know.
Oh my God.
Maybe the
It's time for you.
Episcopalians.
You know what? So your new church that you'll be building will be in the forest, designed with flowers all over it.
And
You'll just
bulldozers.
have beautiful flowers, but and bulldozers.
And I have
Oh,
one more announcement.
oh goodness.
April Fools!
Oh, is it April Fool's already?
Well, when this airs, yeah, tomorrow is April
Okay,
Fools. We're actually recording this on March 31st,
got you,
but April
got
Fools.
you. I have another announcement. I have one of my own actually, and it's very. I realized after this week that it's only right that I just become who I really was meant to be and
Okay.
stop holding back my ferocity and
Mm-hmm.
my anger, and I need to become the man that I was meant to be. Because if it's one thing that these politicians taught me, is that it's okay to be a psychopath and manipulate people to do whatever you want them to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I should not have to be walking around, with a mask on my face, trying to be kind to people and giving out my love to the rest of the world. I need to just be just like my politicians and my leaders. I need to steal from the poor. I need to sacrifice children. I need to make sure that I am first in everything, and forget
Okay.
reading and educating people. History does not matter. What matters is that I end up on the top. That's what really matters. I don't need anybody to be happy. I don't need anybody to know what I'm putting my money into. No, you need to put your money into me and my desires. And if I want a yacht, I'm going to get me a yacht. Okay,
Okay.
because if no one else is going to get arrested for their crimes, it shouldn't matter what I do anymore. That's the point. So I'm gonna become a I'm a cool I'm becoming a true sociopath, and I'm going to make everybody else listen to me and bow to my whim. That's the truth. That's the new me now. Yeah, and then when I get rich enough, I'm gonna start lobbying and I'm gonna make laws for myself because that's what it means to be a true American now. Forget your health insurance. Ageism, forget it. Racism, forget it. Homophobic, transphobic, forget it. I'm everything now and nothing at the same time because I'm gonna make you believe I'm on your side. Vote for me. 2050. I don't know. When will I be old enough to run for president? Uh
How old do you have to be? 35?
is it 35? I don't can't be 35. That's too young. That sounds too young.
I don't know. Bill Clinton was in his 40s.
Well, you know what? Give me another 20 years. I want to run
Okay.
at
Well,
20,
that was that
48 years.
was that was a great speech.
Thank you. Thank you. And by then, I'll deny everything that you find out about me.
That was a great speech, Mo.
Thank you.
So, are do you happen to be including in the commentary of your last comments the indictment of President Trump?
Yes. He showed me that as long as you're wealthy and you're willing to step on the faces of your American brothers and sisters, you don't have to be punished for anything. Him and Biden. They are now my new heroes.
Mm. Well,
There's no such thing as accountability anymore.
I
So
I
why should
I
I?
I by no means am a fan of Donald Trump.
Hmm.
Every time I think that maybe I could be, I just listen to him talk, and um I'm reminded that I really don't want to listen to him.
Mm.
However, this indictment is, I think, a big mistake.
Big mistake.
Big mistake.
Absolutely the dumbest thing. You ever play
Um,
chess?
yeah, I'm not that good at it.
Are you familiar with the rules?
No, no. My uncle
Well,
tried
let
to
me just
teach
tell you.
me the. He bought me a book, and I never paid attention, and you know.
I'll sit down and teach you one day.
Okay.
Now, so in this situation, Trump is a king. And since Trump is a king, he can only move of only one space, right?
Uh huh.
So, but throughout his entire run, and he has perfectly set himself up as the anti-establishment, even though he is part of the establishment. And yet, right now, we are going through a situation where New York, which is shameful, are trying to indict him on the most, the weakest, the weakest of weak crimes you can possibly
Mhm.
imagine out of everything else he's done. And basically, and we would just call who was the it was the mayor, I forget his name, the gentleman that's just trying to indict him. Think of him as a captain, a
But the
rook.
district attorney,
Yes, think of him
yeah.
more like, yeah, think of him like a capo for those who's like into like mob movies and stuff like that, or rook. Um, he is trying to make big moves, which is typically what rooks would tend to do. They would try to make big moves.
Hmm.
Now, he decided to make a move that will only empower Trump's board, right? Because Trump, as he's making his move, he is already planning on marketing himself, right? Establishing himself as the underdog, as the target, as truly
As the
what he
victim.
used to say, as the victim, the witch hunt. And they're giving, and this was such a nonsense. I can't even speak. It was just the stupidest thing to actually try to get him on, right? It's something that many other presidents and other leaders have gotten caught up with women and stuff like that, right?
Uh-huh.
Um, trying to decipher if he's been using his campaign money or whatever, right? If this is the case, you would have to do a background check on every president, probably not Obama, but every president who's tried to use their money to pay off women or whatever the case may be.
Uh-huh.
Maybe Obama does have a secret mistress. Who knows? But this whole thing is such a bad strategy, and he is going to eat them alive. He is going to use this for his campaign. This will be on T-shirts. I know this man is excited, and this is the most New York City thing you can do.
Everything that the Democrats say that Trump was and was going to do, they're doing.
Yes.
They're using the court against a political opponent. It's the same thing
Mm-hmm.
that Bolsonaro did in Brazil when they put Lula in prison in the last election cycle, and Bolsonaro
Mm-hmm.
became the president of Brazil. And when Lula got out of prison, he ran
Mm-hmm.
and beat Bolsonaro.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but these are the things that banana republics do. And people have been saying for a long time that the United States, with its economic divide, uh, income disparity, was becoming a banana republic. And we're here.
Yeah.
We are a banana republic and we operate like one. And the Democrats keep doubling down on things like this. Um, and when the Republicans do the same thing to them, they're going to protest. But now
Mm-hmm.
they've opened another gate.
Yes.
They've opened another gate,
Allowing.
and this country is I mean, it's just descending into authoritarianism. Uh
There's no honor. There's no
it's
honor in this election.
it's
There's
probably going
no
to be a
honor.
dictatorship in another 5 to 10 years.
No. Well, I'll be on the streets if that happens.
Well, we should be in the streets now, but
We should be
uh,
in the streets right now.
the population of the United States is so anesthetized to protest, they're just going to walk over us. I don't think anyone's getting into the streets.
They won't get in the streets until they realize it. And they've been doing a good job of
Mm-hmm.
keeping like the Fed Now system that's going to be released soon out of the mainstream media.
The Fed Now system is
Credit, the basically the online
the
credit, a
electronic
crypto.
currency.
Yep. Basically crypto for the United States. And people are not aware of this. They are blind to this. I just went on the website, so I'm doing some research on it. So I can't tackle it right now with you, fair people, but soon I will be able to. And let me tell you this, it is right around your corner. Yeah, I have no idea what's about to happen to
Well,
y'all.
some of the things that I've heard about the digital dollar that
Mhm.
I guess they're going to introduce as soon as July of this year.
Yes, yes.
Is that if you get out of line, they can turn your money off.
Hmm. People
Um,
accounts are currently being turned off as we speak, randomly.
and there might be an expiration date on your money, so you'll have to spend it
Yes.
before it expires.
Exactly. And there's already large corporations that it was our fault for allowing them to be in our neighborhoods who have enough power because we use the Walmarts, we use the Amazons, we use these big companies, especially I'm just stick to Walmart, and they get to say, hey, look, when you want to shop for anything now, you have to use your debit and credit card. No more cash. That's that option. And it's going to be slowly rolling out throughout the country. And sooner or later, once this fully goes active, they will take that option for the cash to be going. I'm trying to figure out what the rate of the dollar is compared to the new currency, digital currency. What's the equivalent to it? How many
I don't know. I
dollars?
was listening to somebody. I didn't. I didn't back it up with other research, but apparently the digital dollar is a hedge against the fact that other countries in the world are dumping the dollar.
Yes,
So,
yes.
in the end, I mean, if we had a choice between a dollar collapse and I don't know, being further subjects of
Establishment.
the U.S. government, um, and being controlled. You know, they're so worried about China, and they're just acting like the Chinese. Our government is acting like the Soviets. But I mean, what would you rather have? Would you rather have your money be worthless, or would you rather learn how to live as a citizen did in Soviet Russia or in China? Well, I mean, do we really know what it's like to live in China? Um,
No, we don't.
but you know, I mean, the way people describe China and leadership, they sure act like they want us to be governed like they portray China's governance.
Hmm.
And you know, and I'd like to say I loved your commentary at the beginning, and I I just want to put it out there. I mean, maybe someday somebody will show up and knock up on the door and want to talk to me for my comments, but and you know, we don't want to get too deep or too negative. You know, go too far down the rabbit hole with our government, but I have no respect for our leaders at all. I think that
Hmm.
they're ruining, they're really destroying the country, and the next few years are going to be really difficult for America. But one of the guys I liked listening to from the Duran, Alex, who's usually in broadcasting from Greece, believes that the United States is going to get through the next few years and it's going to be better for it on the other end. So I'll take any kind of positive that I can get. Um,
This is what I say to that because I want to be positive, but I realized one thing in this last week is that the most important thing to me is regardless of people ideology or what they think, religion or background, is that I'm going to love my American brothers and sisters first and foremost. I will always back them out. Listen, I understand that there are people on the other side of the country that may think have negative mindsets about Black culture and what they think. But let me say it for many of my people that really have a good heart and that love being American, because I love being American. I don't want anybody to think there's a big difference between criticizing your government and criticizing your people.
Now
The American people.
you got to do this
Mhm.
with your finger.
I got to do all this, but there's a big difference, and for me, I I I'm concerned about my neighbors. I'm concerned about the communities that the oversaturate, the drugs that's being put out into neighborhoods, all neighborhoods, the deaths happening between mothers and children, and the people rights being attacked. I'm concerned. So when we are all ready to stand up as a unit, regardless of color, I'm here with you
or
guys. I
political
can
affiliation.
all political affiliation. I do
Because
not care for
and
that.
I like to say, I like to piggyback on what you're saying is that I'm not going to judge you if you do like Trump.
No.
Now we can argue, and some people say, oh, he's not racist. Well, he is a little racist. I mean, come on, come on, he's racist. Okay, um, so it's something to work through. But I'm not judging people who
Hmm.
identify as conservative or like Trump
No.
or have different political views because you know. I was brought up as a Democrat, and now people who align with that party um, call me a conspiracy theorist because I listen to independent journalists that win journalism awards and have differing opinions on war, have differing opinions on governance, have different opinions on free speech, and
Hmm.
uh, are I don't feel a part of that sect of quote unquote liberals.
Hmm.
The Democratic Party represents my views just as much as the Republican Party does at this point. So, am I
Hmm.
going to judge somebody based on their political views? No. I mean,
No.
if they're for some of these authoritarian measures that the government wants to pass, well, then yes, I do have some big differences with you. But if we're just talking about who we're going to vote for president or this and that, I mean, we got to think of who really is the people causing us harm. When I think of all the people that I know who voted for Trump in my life, friends and family, have they ever caused me any harm? No,
Not
they've
a
caused
once.
me no harm.
None.
Could the my Democratic leaders cause me harm? They have, as they've used my tax dollars to kill children in the Middle East. To me, that's harm.
Yeah.
Uh, when I look at the roads in New York State, when I look at the interstates, which are federal roads, have they caused me harm? Not directly, but they've caused my car harm.
Hmm. Hmm. Yes, they have. I'm not saying to forget history, but let's use history, the lessons of history. We don't have to erase it. We don't have to ignore it, but let's use it to build a better future. We know what happened. We know what works. We know what doesn't work. We know what everybody wants and don't want. So instead of us sitting here and trying to fight what belongs, it all belongs. It all belongs. Every one of it. So what we're going to do, what we should be focusing on is how to create the greatest nation, not for one group, not for one group, but for all groups, because there are enemies knocking on our front door, and they are ready for battle,
But what
and we have to
enemies
be
are
ready.
knocking on our front door?
Listen, listen, we got our let's talk. We have our lobbyists, these billionaire companies that's
Okay,
sitting
okay.
here, sitting here and moving politics around and manipulating things, and they're probably the ones writing the bills.
All right. I was just
So
checking to see if you're gonna like say a country or something.
no, no, no,
No. Okay.
no. I mean, they can. I mean, we'll see that. We've seen some signs of that, but we will see. That's a whole nother subject. I don't think
Yeah.
other countries are the problem right now.
I
Not right
don't I
now.
don't think there's a country I don't think there's a country around the whole world that is a military threat to the United States. But right now, as these countries start getting together and working together, the
Mm-hmm.
economic threat to the United States is
Oh,
incredible.
that's a great point.
So so there was a bill that was proposed this week.
The restrict bill,
The restrict bill, that's right. It's the bill that they're proposing to uh
ban TikTok.
ban TikTok.
Yes,
And for anyone that's not familiar with the bill, it is incredibly broad,
very.
and it's a bill constructed to ban TikTok, but nowhere in the bill does it mention TikTok.
Not once. Actually, it just mentions a bunch of random actually what I won't say random plan attack on our free will and our free speech
On the
um
internet.
on the internet. And I personally think it correlates very well with the Fed now thing. Because if you can control our finances, right?
Uh-huh.
Right. And you can track where we go, what we buy, and everything else like that, and shut us down at any point. However, then you can also block us from even maybe buying stuff from out of the country to other countries, putting money in other countries' hands. If you can block us on multiple fronts and restrict our access to other resources, that's a problem, you know? Uh,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? Because if they deem that we say we spending too much money on another company that's not in our country, they could say, we don't like that everybody's doing that. We don't like that you're buying Chinese products. We don't like that you're buying Japanese products. We don't like those are our enemies. We don't like them. So we're going to stop you from doing that. We're going to stop you from interacting with this country and giving them money and advertisement money and whatever case may be. It just seems like a very attack coming from different directions,
Yeah.
and that makes me annoyed.
So the
That makes me
the
annoyed.
the way I understand the bill is that it empowers the Secretary of Commerce to identify uh internet companies, internet apps
Hmm.
that might be that threaten national security. And
Yes,
I think they surpass
it has
Congress.
to. It has to be at least if a website has 1 million. Mind you,
1
most
million people.
apps.
Yeah, they can ban it basically.
Yes, yes. If it has like 1 million
And
people or
I was
more,
listening
they
to
don't like
somebody
it.
say that usually the Secretary of Commerce is given to the winning president's biggest donor.
Really,
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
That's stupid.
So,
That's
or a
so
big
dumb.
donor. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So if
And what type of
you,
powers do they have?
well,
What type of powers do they
I'm
have?
not exactly sure what the Secretary of Commerce actually does besides govern commerce, whatever that entails.
I got to do some reading tonight.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they do something.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh my God. I didn't know about the donor.
We found out through Pete Buttigieg that that the transportation secretary has to be somewhat competent, and as Pete Buttigieg has been incompetent, we've been able to see that it does matter
Oh
um,
my God.
when somebody is incompetent in that position.
Oh my
So I'm not
God.
sure if an incompetent commerce secretary would make any difference or not.
Hmm.
Um, but we found out that the secretary of education should be somewhat competent, and given the state of education in this country, um, I question the competence of the last few
They
secretaries of
all suck.
education.
They all suck. I don't even I remember I forget their name, but I remember the last one that did the when Obama was around and they did that whole why am I forgetting that program's name? When they made math extra hard for no extra reason. What was that program? But I remember that. And then and then and now with Biden and Trump, I don't even remember who was even like the Secretary of Education at all. Like I don't know.
I don't even
I
know
didn't
who it
know.
is now. It was
I
Betsy
don't.
DeVos under Trump, and she just wanted to change everything to a charter school.
Oh,
Her
good
charter
Lord.
schools, the charter
Her charter
schools.
school.
Her with through her charter school. I think she owns a charter school company, or her family
Oh
does.
God. Oh
You
God.
know. So let's see. So we should inform the audience a little bit that this Restrict Act does give the government some very broad powers, and if you do go to
Hmm.
Congress .gov, you can read the whole bill if you want, but you can at least get the bullet points of the bill. And if you just notice, the bullet points are incredibly broad. That's pretty much the bill. And so what it
Yeah.
does is it gives the government sweeping powers. Some people are calling it the Patriot Act 2.0. It's
Hmm.
a further abridgment of the rights of Americans to be able to. And the thing about it is, I hope I express this correctly, but when it comes to the First Amendment and free speech, that uh, it's not only being able to say or to disseminate whatever information pretty much that we want to,
Hmm.
but it's also to receive information that we want to.
Well said.
And so what this restrict bill does is empower the government to
Restrict what
restrict
we see. Yeah.
what we see. And they're just attacking America's rights, Americans' individual freedoms. So I really hope that sane voices prevail, and that I do encourage you to go to Google if you don't know who your representatives are, and put in find my representative, and that will send you to a website that will you put it in your zip code and you find out who your congressman or congresswoman are,
Please.
and how to get in touch with them. If you want to write them, you can email them through their websites. Uh, some people believe that calling them is the most effective thing to do.
I would do
But
both.
and some people use to discount Twitter. But as far I've heard other people recently say that they do look at the Twitter comments that are sent their way too.
Yeah, they do. The
Um,
White House has a Twitter account. That's
so
funny.
and some people say, well, it makes no difference at all. They do keep track of the way that their congressional district feels, or if you I would, especially with the restrict bill, because it's a Senate bill, that I would get in touch with your senators. If
Hmm.
you're opposed, or if you're for it, I guess, we have to encourage people to engage, but encourage you to weigh in on the bill, and just go to Google and put in find my senators. Every state has two.
Hmm.
And if you do live in New York State, Kristen Gillibrand is a sponsor of the Restrict Bill.
Mm. And yeah, for those who said this doesn't work, remember primaries are right around the corner. A lot of these people take donations from the lobbies and all these corporations. And if you are going to choose somebody who doesn't want any of that money, that will not take that money, who makes a platform without jeopardizing people free speech, here's how you attack, because you always have to remember people want your votes. That's the only way. Please stop thinking that your vote doesn't matter. I mean, trust me, on a local level, if it's one thing I learned, it is so important to pay attention to that form because they want that money. They want those $1 million. And if you tell them, I guess this in these years you're not getting money this time, they'll start go, oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. I wanna stay in, I want to stay elected. I want to
What are you
make sure
talking
that I get
about?
those millions of dollars. All these politicians, all in general, just like people continue to forget that, like
Forget
that
what?
they vote matter, that their vote
Oh, there's
matters,
a
you
vote
know?
matters. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that, but if you can stop them, if you can stop them, especially since the primaries are coming up, if you can stop them before they think they have a chance of winning and remind them,
Mhm.
like, if you go with something I don't want, they'll stop. They will stop. They want
Well,
your vote.
and you know the thing about it is I live in a democratic dictatorship. Um, you know, I mean, it doesn't matter who we vote for president. The electoral votes for the state of New York are going to the Democrat. Um,
Mm,
my congressional district is solidly blue, so no matter how I vote, or you know, or people, a minority of people vote for, say, a Republican, the Democrat always wins by about 10%.
mm.
Um, I would say that the village that I live in is Democrat, but uh, I voted uh, with my aggravation that the Democratic Party would not endorse the mayor that we used to have, and I liked the mayor we used to have, and so I voted for the Republican, and the Republican won. It's been a while since
Wow.
a Republican won in the village. So, the Schenectady County Democrat shenanigans uh, may have cost them the mayoral seat in the old village of Scotia. I don't know.
You know, my goal is let's turn New York into a different color. Let's turn New York into a different color. Let's
Well,
turn every state that had one color to another color. That would be fantastic. That would be a dream come true. Please, somebody help my dream come true. It will just throw everything off balance in the right ways.
mm.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Well,
Y'all don't like what's
and
been
well,
happening?
so the point of me saying that I lived in this democratic dictatorship is that I've decided, and it started this last election, and I'm just voting against Democrats just so they have to put up political signs.
I love it.
And
Let them
people are
try
like,
a
"Well,
little harder.
what if the Republican gets in by one vote and it was your vote?" Well, apparently it was time for a change.
Yeah.
Like it
What's wrong with changes?
matters, you know, like it matters who's in office on the federal level. You know, like it matters. They're all for war.
Mm,
Um, they're really, you know, economically, uh, you know, they're all governing to their donors.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
you know, it's just these culture war issues that come up, and you know, I know people that have different concerns. Um, and you know, when push comes to shove, I really just don't believe it matters which party is in power,
I agree.
especially economically for the 50% of the country that lives in poverty.
Yeah.
And, you know, people always say to me, "Rich, what do you have to complain about? You know, we live in the freest country that you know, you know, you live a pretty good life. You have some money in your pocket." And I'd be like, "Yeah, I do." Um, you know, if I had chosen a different profession, uh, you know, say I was in finance or something like
Hmm.
that, I'd probably maybe making double of what I make now in ministry.
Hmm.
But yeah, I do have a good life and I don't have a lot to complain about. But the fact that there are 50% of people in America that are living in poverty bothers me.
And it should. That's called compassion.
Yeah.
It's
You know,
called compassion.
the fact that there is still systemic and acute racism in this country bothers me.
Yes.
Um, the fact that lobbyists get safety regulations changed, and Palestine, Ohio is based. The people of that town are basically living in poison. That
Hmm.
bothers me.
That bothers me. Yep.
The fact that Flint, Michigan has had no redress of their poison water bothers me.
How about Philadelphia?
Philadelphia,
1.5.
Camden,
Mm-hmm.
Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, apparently clean, safe drinking water is no longer a priority in the United States.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So but we can send $110 billion on behalf of the Ukrainians, 80% of which just went into the pockets of the U.S. Military industrial complex.
Hmm. Did they not
That
just run
bothers
out of
me.
bullets? Hmm.
Yep, and and I know I've mentioned it 100 times, but as the throughway crumbles between Schenectady and Utica, um, and I hit those bumps that because they've ground out the potholes until I guess they're going to fix them in the summer. But on my car, uh, I hit one of those bumps, and a bolt went flying off of my car, and my wheel could have fallen off, but I made it back home, and the mechanic was able to fix it. And if my wheel fell off and I went into a ditch, and I was in the ICU, now intubated, I guess that's the way the cookie crumbles. Like, nothing in life is guaranteed, Rich. You want safe roads, especially when you pay to drive on them. You pay a toll.
Yeah,
You
right?
expect too much. And people are like,
Hmm.
"Well, why you go? Well, life isn't that bad." Well, maybe I don't feel like being anesthetized just every time that the government takes more and more rights away, that our roads and our infrastructure crumbles, and just say, okay, do whatever you want.
How about they drive 100 miles away from the town that they live in, the city they live in, to
Yeah,
see how the rest of the world looks
drive
like?
down Route 20 in central New York.
Mm-hmm.
Drive Route 20 in central New York from Schenectady, and just go to what is it called? Richfield. I think it's Richfield Springs.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm saying that wrong, I apologize. Uh yeah, just it's where the Beekman Farm is. Just drive that stretch. And if you have any memory of what Route 20 was like before and what it's like now, you're going to be very, very shocked.
Mm-hmm.
The when I say that the throughway's crumbling, it pales in insignificance of what Route 20 looks like right now.
It's sad because we don't even use human beings for tolls anymore. So all of this is just digitally, and they still act like they don't have the money. You don't even pay anybody anymore to cover these tolls. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? It should be like this now, like quick. People should be out there. All these construction workers that need work should be having work 24/7 a year now that you don't need to pay anybody fees, toll fees,
Mm-hmm.
checks. So what's going on?
I don't know. So before we leave the topic of politics,
And dead
I
highways.
found this story today, and I would just like to know um, that every politician especially in the federal government. Every politician, every employee of the federal government, every employee of the deep state can be summed up in one person, in one person in the public eye. That this person is the icon of the political class,
Uh-oh.
is the absolute archetype, symbol, icon of the political class. And
Uh-oh.
his name, ladies and gentlemen, is George Santos. George Santos. Let's share his picture. There he is. There's good old George Santos.
Oh my God.
So let me read you this article. Well, the headline reads, and this is from Fox News. Major League Baseball world rips George Santos over puzzling video claiming he supports the Mets. U.S. Representative George Santos, Republican of New York, has faced a significant amount of scrutiny since he took office. But his latest criticism is coming from the sports world, specifically New York Mets fans.
Uh-oh.
Santos represents New York's 3rd congressional district, which includes part of the North Shore of Long Island, northern Nassau County, and parts of northeastern Queens. The Mets play at Citi Field, which is located in Flushing Meadows in Queens. Ahead of the Mets' season opener against the Marlins at Lone Depot Park, Santos, who remains at the center of a House Ethics Committee investigation, posted a bizarre video on Twitter. Baseball fans, Mets supporters, and Twitter users slammed Santos for the post. And here we go. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm a Mets fan, so what's gonna happen?
This is great. This is fantastic.
Oh my
Hey guys,
goodness.
today is opening day. As a good old Mets fan, I know you guys aren't going to be playing until April 6th back home, but in good old fashion, let's go Mets!
Let's look at that one more time.
One more time, one more time,
One more time.
Hey guys, today is opening day. As a good old Mets fan, I know you guys aren't going to be playing until April 6th back home, but in good old fashion, let's go Mets!
One more time.
Oh my God.
Hey guys, today is opening day. As a good old Mets fan, I know you guys aren't going to be playing until April 6th back home, but in good old fashion, let's go Mets!
Oh no. Oh no.
That's every politician in Washington, D.C.
He made me feel like he was a cross dresser the entire time. I said to my I said that outfit does not belong on this man. He also reminded me of like every kid I went to like had a class with who was in my class, my special needs class. Like I was
Oh,
like, he was that
no.
like that's what he looked like. You know, he reminded me of this kid that I was in special ed with who was just, you know, like just put a Lego in his mouth over and over, back and
A
forth. Like he was
Lego? Is that what you
yeah,
said?
yeah, Lego. He just put it in and out of his mouth the whole time with his glasses like this.
Uh-huh.
And he would just go like this.
So
And
are you applying that to every politician in Washington?
I'm just applying it to this gentleman so far. He looked like a whole entire crossdresser. I mean,
He's
I
just
don't even
so
feel like he owned that.
he's so pleased with himself. I mean, look. Look at his smile. He's so proud.
He's so proud.
He's so proud.
It's
That
just
is fantastic.
as somebody with glasses, I mean, he should just switch over to contacts. I think he should just wear contacts. He's
I
embarrassing
hope
us.
I hope well, I don't think he's gonna get reelected, but I hope he finishes out his term. But who
Mm.
knows? Maybe he will get reelected.
Why do you hope he finish out his term?
Because I just want him to be there. So I mean he's hated by other politicians, and they say that it's because of his lies and his misrepresentations. But
Yes.
it's always pointed out that you dislike the things you dislike in other people are usually things that you dislike in yourself. And I think that's
Yes.
why the politicians in Washington have so much disdain for him, is because
That,
they see a piece of themselves in George Santos. That
hey,
he
you're not supposed to get caught up with those lies. We do it every day. You're not supposed to get caught. What is wrong with you? You're a moron. Listen, if you want to sleep with somebody, if you want to steal money, you got to keep it quiet. What are you doing, man? You can't make it obvious. You're making us look bad. Okay? Inside and trade is supposed to be for us. You can't let them know.
Amen.
That's your sentence. And damn. That's why I would be a perfect politician. You would never know. You would never know.
I think he'd make a good politician, but
Oh, good Lord, don't say that.
all right.
I would never clean your neighborhood.
So we end the episode the same way every time, with a prayer. Father God, this evening we lift up the United States to you, and we lift up the leadership of this country. That God, I think that many people that have a lot of power and have a lot of resources have lost their way. And that God, I pray for protection. I pray for covering over the citizenry of this country. And that, Lord, as the rest of the world is looking at us, scratching their heads, saying, what are they doing? They are getting together, and that the alliances that they are making may be detrimental to our future. So, God, I ask that you just grant our leaders with some sense, and that, Lord, that we use our talent and our treasure and our resources to help others, to negotiate with others, to trade with others, instead of trying to bomb others. So, Father God, we put our faith and trust in you. And that, Lord, may we look around and see the things that matter most to us, like our family and our friends, shared compassion and shared empathy. And I ask
Yes.
all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much.
Amen.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night. I'm gonna enjoy my whiskey.